firm CP Kukreja Architects, and Arivanantham is the one who runs the foundation, CP Kukreja Foundation for Design Excellence. So that is, the exhibition has been the brainchild of the foundation, and of course in partnership with CEPT.
So through the foundation we do a lot of workshops, we do a lot of research, we do a lot of sponsorships for students so that we are able to harness and so that design can flourish in all genres. We like to promote design among students, professionals, amongst amateurs.
Design by design you mean?
Design any aspect में, whether it is design in photography, design in architecture, design in art, anything.
That is, I think,
because we feel design cuts all genres.
The missing link we want to create.
So अगर हम देखें historically इंडिया में हमारी ये सोच है, yes, architectural practice तो हम रन कर ही रहे हैं CP Kukreja Architects, but even Mr. Kukreja की हमेशा सोच थी that architecture अगर हम पहले हिस्टोरिकली इंडिया में देखें तो एक क्राफ्ट्समैन, आर्टिस्ट और आर्किटेक्ट और इवन एक इंजीनियर जब इंजीनियरिंग शुरू हुई है अगर तब से ले तो दीज वर कम्प्लीटली इंटरट्वाइंड, इंटीग्रेटेड होता था। कोई भी पुरानी बिल्डिंग अगर हम देश में देखें तो दे हैव बीन एक्चुअली वर्क ऑफ आर्ट, वर्क ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर और वर्क ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग, डिपेंड्स हाउ यू लुक एट इट उस नज़रिए से, लेकिन काम सबका इकट्ठे एक जगह और एक चीज़ ही आवाज़ निकलती थी। लेकिन पोस्ट independence or even in the early part of 20th century, pre-independence, with the coming of the Western world, the British, the colonial period of those 200 plus years that India was ruled in, our whole aspect of tradition, artisanship, all these things got diluted and it became completely a Western notion. So making buildings also became a Western notion to a large extent. Modern architecture, it was called modernism also, which came in. All these aspects that happened in the 20th century took architecture away from design in a way. Field of art, field of craftsmanship, that got removed. हमारी buildings, including in Ahmedabad, जो Corbusier ने और modern period में बनी, they started becoming a symbol of machine-made industrial output. So all this happened. So the foundation decided, CP Kukreja Foundation, that we need to go back into what has been the tradition of Indian architecture, and from that point of view the intention came that we need to again promote design, as has been said. It's not architecture design alone, it's not interior design alone, it's design which has to be promoted. So what the foundation is doing is, it is reaching out to the young minds, the students across different fields who are into this field, even if they are photographers, budding photographers. The foundation does lots of different activities, whether it is design competitions, whether it is selecting students who have that talent, and doing initiatives like maybe getting them internship in the best places in India and abroad. It is even, for example, once we did this competition on design of public spaces. अब हमारे देश में अगर हम आज की डेट में देखें, पब्लिक स्पेसेस की क्वालिटी डिटीरियोरेट हो जाती है, और पब्लिक स्पेस ही तो ट्रू आइडेंटिटी होती है सिटी की। बिल्डिंग एक चीज़, लेकिन पब्लिक स्पेस असली चीज़ होती है जहाँ जनता जाके एंजॉय कर सकती है। तो उस स्पेसेस को कैसे इम्प्रूव किया जाए, तो एक डिज़ाइन कॉम्पिटिशन किया गया था, और उसके जो स्टूडेंट्स की एंट्रीज है, हमारा अब इनिशिएटिव एफर्ट है, अभी रिजल्ट नहीं आया, बट एफर्ट ये है कि कैन वी वर्क विद द सिविक बॉडीज, म्यूनिसिपल अथॉरिटीज, वेदर इट इज इन कोल्हापुर, कानपुर, wherever the student has prepared some design, उन्होंने जहाँ वो पले बड़े हैं, उन्होंने वहाँ की कोई जगह का देके एक डिज़ाइन किया कि इसको ऐसे करा जा सकता है। तो हमारा ये आइडिया है कि अगर वहाँ की सिविक बॉडी उस डिज़ाइन इनिशिएटिव को कर ले, तो स्टूडेंट को एकदम से कितना इंकरेजमेंट मिलेगा, एक आइडेंटिटी मिलेगी, उसका करियर एक तरीके से बिल्कुल एक अलग लेवल पे पहुंच सकता है। तो इस तरीके से हाँ, तो वो एंट्रीज की वी आर पब्लिशिंग अ बुक सो दैट इट कैन गो इनटू लाइब्रेरीज, इट कैन बी परचेज्ड बाय पीपल। सो दीस काइंड ऑफ
This project is at what stage? publishing a book.
तो पब्लिशिंग बुक तो हो गया है, ड्राफ्ट तो हो गया, बस अब प्रिंट करना है उसका.
Now the foundation, as you said, does multiple activities. If you find some talent that needs some nurture, how you help them and how you help them to grow?
So at the moment just finding individually तो इतना नहीं हो पाता, पर हम competitions करते हैं. जैसे we have a rolling trophy with NASA. NASA is the largest student body,
Yes.
architectural student body in India.
In the world actually.
Yeah.
Largest student body in the world, NASA, National Association of Students of Architecture.
So we have this competition every year. We have a sort of a theme, an ideology that is given to them, and they work on that. And उसी के basis पे हम इस इनके जो talent को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं through taking it to the government and asking them if they can help them further. And individually हमने और भी बड़े photography competitions करे हुए. So through these competitions is actually when we get to know कि students में talent क्या है.
So how many students up till now you have helped to grow in their field, respective field?
So helps to grow. So हर एक साल कम से कम 3 students को तो हम award देते ही हैं, which is in terms of monetarily also and in terms of internships also.
So, but overall, the activity embraces few hundred students. For example, this year currently, which is undergoing, there are about 800 students. Over 800 students.
Record-breaking entries होती है हमारी हर साल.
So 800 this year, over 800. I think it gets only, I would say, ripe with age. Then that building requires extra care. It requires extra attention, and that is what heritage and conservation is all about. So I feel that if in our own culture, in our Indian culture, we have so much ingrained in us towards respect and regard and care towards the elders, then the same thing should also extend towards buildings. So my point here is that I would not depend so much on policies to be framed by the government. That is one aspect, one domain. But policy frame करना और उसको practice करना, तो प्रैक्टिस के लिए मेरे को ये लगता है कि जब तक हम इंडियन सोसाइटी में कॉमन मैन की नज़र में नहीं लाएंगे कि वो जो इतनी सुंदर मॉन्यूमेंट है, और जैसे अब हम मॉन्यूमेंट बोलते हैं, बट एक टाइम पे वो इम्पॉर्टेंट बिल्डिंग रही है, आज और इम्पॉर्टेंट हो गई है, उसके वहाँ पे कचरा नहीं फेंकना या पान नहीं थूकना या उसके अंदर पत्थर पे स्क्रिबल नहीं करना, ये चीज़ तो एक अंदर से आवाज़ उठनी चाहिए. You don't have to look left and right कि कोई पुलिसमैन आपको देख रहा है कि नहीं, आपके अंदर से वो आदर आनी चाहिए बिल्डिंग की तरफ. So I personally feel the kind of repertoire of heritage that we possess in this country is invaluable, is irreplaceable, and we need to give it that kind of attention. One, at a policy level, like declaring heritage precincts, heritage areas, heritage zones, heritage cities, heritage buildings. One is policy level framing that. The other is we need to start respecting them. So if tomorrow, let's say, a metro line is being extended, metro is coming in every city of India now, we need to, or a road is to be widened, we need to understand that these things have to happily coexist with our heritage. We cannot
But it's a very
ignore.
pertinent question of what you have asked about heritage, because we so often in India ignore our old buildings and structures. अभी जैसे we are coming from a building here, only 20-year-old building, it's so dilapidated. But hopefully, because we are still in the process of, we want to do a lot in the foundation, but it is better to take small steps and better steps than to leap very high and not able to achieve
spread yourself.
and spread yourself. So hopefully at certain time, because even Dikshu being an urban planner, and has been working closely with some old buildings, we would through the foundation like to do something, but we still need to structure ourselves on that.
Example, अभी जो एलिस ब्रिज
बिल्कुल
मेयर थे आसिफ हुआ, उसी वक्त उसको स्क्रैप करना, अखबार वालों ने, न्यूज़पेपर वालों ने उसको खींचा, बराबर खींचा, तो वो फिर शांत हो गया. अभी भी देखो एलिस ब्रिज के हाल. अभी एलिस ब्रिज कौन से साल में कौन कैसे बनाया,
एक्टिविटी बढ़ाना वो एक चीज़ है। इंस्टीट्यूट सेप्ट जैसे जहाँ पे इस मैटर की पढ़ाई कराई जाती है वो अपना लेवल प्ले कर रहे हैं, लेकिन इसकी जागरूकता लाना, इसकी अवेयरनेस और बढ़ाना वो आपके माध्यम से हो सकती है। और ऐसा नहीं है जैसे हम सबको अपनी फील्ड में लगता है, आपको भी लगता होगा, हमें भी कभी कभी लगता है क्या फ़ायदा, कौन सुन रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, क्योंकि हम जिस चीज़ का प्रयत्न कर रहे हैं आसपास कुछ और होता दिखता है। बट आई थिंक वी स्टिल हैव टू कंटिन्यू इन आवर एफर्ट्स। That is the important thing, and your pen is far more mightier than anybody else. तो जितनी इस पे अवेयरनेस आएगी मेरे हिसाब से उतनी सेंसिटिविटी, जिसकी बात मैंने करी, पॉलिसीज तो कितनी भी बना लो, लेकिन जब तक पब्लिक अवेयरनेस नहीं इस चीज़ पे आएगी वहाँ से मेरे को लगता है मूवमेंट शुरू हो सकता है।
I want to ask you, like, have you earmarked some projects or you guide students or are those who are interested in design? Do you guide them to go about certain projects or at random whatever they feel like they are doing?
No. At random it cannot work. So typically what happens is that on a initiative basis, when we pick up one initiative, then there is a complete focus. There is a very clear roadmap that look, this is the exercise, this is the objective, this is what is the outcome expected out of it. So all those broad contours are very clearly conveyed to the students. Only then you can get a sort of a concrete
area you
result.
select, how do you go about it?
तो हम जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अभी लेटेस्ट एंडेवर में हमने कहा है कि भाई सपोज द एरिया इज ऑफ लेट्स से इवन वन
crowded space.
आप अपने शहर में, किसी भी शहर में आप एक क्राउडेड स्पेस आइडेंटिफाई करो, लेकिन उसका एरिया मिनिमम इतना होना चाहिए, लेट्स से अबाउट हाफ एन एकड़ और क्वार्टर ऑफ एन एकड़, उतना एरिया आइडेंटिफाई। तो उनको एक स्केल तो मिला ना, ये नहीं कि वो पूरा ही नवरंगपुरा देख रहे हैं या पूरा इस तरीके से, तो वो आइडेंटिफाई किया गया और उसका फिर फाइनल आउटकम क्या चाहते हैं वो क्लियर कर दिया कि आप क्या इसमें किस तरीके से इम्प्रूव किया जा सकता है, इसमें कितने चेंजेस करने होंगे, किस टाइप के चेंजेस करने होंगे, ये सारी चीज़ें उनसे फिर क्लियरली मांगी जाती है।
Does CP Kukreja Foundation help students financially who need them?
We don't sponsor like that, but we sponsor through our competitions. We give a substantial amount of award money.
Prize money, and then also we are giving them internships. Then they get paid internships for a
Can you be
period of
more
4 to
specific
6
about
months.
awards?
So a lakh of rupees.
So a lakh of rupees to the winners that is given, and then of course paid internships will go up to an amount of depending on the duration 4 to 6 months. It can be about 1.5 to 2 lakhs. That is
And
given to
internship
them.
where?
And internships within India at CP Kukreja Architects for those who wish to seek that, because there itself there are a lot of applications that come. At CP Kukreja Architects, for example, I can share with you, we get more than 300 applications of students for the internship, and the positions are usually 4 to 5. But the award winners then get precedence and they get automatic entry into this.
6 month period?
4 to 6 months, depending on the institutions that we tie up with. And in case they would like, it's not just limited to CP Kukreja. This is one avenue which is easier for us to implement. But besides that, there are other architectural firms also from our fraternity who are very kind enough and supporting our endeavor. So they can apply there, and that is also an open door or preferred entry for them. And this is across different cities of India we have this tie-up. And besides this, also there is international opportunity that is there. So suppose a winner would like to apply in Tokyo or in London, then we have preferred firms that we have from our fraternity who will give that kind of
Especially this year since we have international participation also.
See, what is the impact of holding this Masterplan Exhibition?
So the endeavor, it is part of an overall objective, like we said, of increasing awareness and sharing knowledge. But in the case of this specific exhibition, the master plan, the interesting aspect is that this is now 55 years to when JNU was actually the national competition, international design competition for JNU was held in 1970. So sorry, 1969. My apologies, 1969. So the intention here was that today we are talking a lot about sustainable architecture, sustainable design, green buildings. We are talking about environment, climate change, and how buildings should be responding to the climate and environment. So JNU is one such example which has been recognized internationally in places like Harvard, Columbia, MIT, that this has been a fitting example of sustainable design. Not many of us in India realize that or know about it. We read about JNU for other reasons in the newspaper.
Not much attention has been given to the architecture of JNU. It's always about the ideologies and it being a boiling pot of, divergent views and political views. So, and it was also Mr. C.P. Kukreja's first very large commission.
So if you look at the design, if you walk through the exhibition, if you read a little bit about it or even look at the pictures, you will realize that how this design is actually an outcome of the site, of the context. If there are rocks, the buildings were built around the rocks, not ki rock uthake, you throw it away or something. The topography of the site is very well maintained. Forests in the site. Very much so.
And even though it was his first project, it is not the building that was made, that it has to be a building of stature. It just melts into the environment. That's
so the beauty of JNU, which has been written about and acknowledged even globally, is that it is not an architecture which is screaming for attention. Watch this, we'll start feeling interested that we also want to do something.
How was the feedback from different planners of various cities that you have been?
It's been extremely encouraging because it's not, the thing, the beauty in our country is that as Indians we are all very sensitive people. It's only about prioritizing things. So when we talk to town planners as well, they have been so appreciative of this idea because they feel ये होना चाहिए but कोई कर नहीं रहा था, ये होना चाहिए कोई सोच नहीं रहा था. So ऐसा किसी से अभी तक हमें फीडबैक नहीं मिला कि क्या ज़रूरत है, ये तो वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम है, आप किसी और चीज़ पे अटेंशन दीजिए ना. Not a single person. Everybody feels that there is a need for it and they compliment the fact that yes, some people are coming forward to at least take that initiative. So we only hope that this initiative will grow. We hope that our foundation can tomorrow, in times to come, become like we all know today the name of Rockefeller Foundation and other such international foundations. We would also like to go out there and make India, which is now the cynosure of everyone's eyes around the world. People are looking at us, people are watching us. Many countries are taking us as inspiration in many parts of the world. A leader is talking about being a global south. So all those parts of the world, we would like people to sit up and notice, and we would hope that our foundation can be a driver towards this change. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.